Hi, good evening, and welcome to this week's edition of the Minority Report. I'm Marlon David, your host, and again, it gives me a great pleasure to be back here with you another week. And so much is happening in Tobago, in Trinidad and Tobago, and it's just very difficult sometimes to keep up. But we know for sure one of the things that we have happening is everyone is back out to school, and we're going to have a bit of discussions on that as well tonight. But first, before I get into anything, let me introduce my guests in studio. We literally have a packed house tonight. If I can say so myself, some very familiar faces, some persons may think are strangers, but just took a short sabbatical. So I will begin with welcoming again, who last week she really turned up. So many people were talking about her presence on the program. I think I could even take a little rest just now. Minority Councillor, Petal Daniel Benoit.
Good night,
Welcome.
Everyone. Good night. Thank you.
Actually, okay, we'll get into that after I'm finished with the introductions. All the way across from me, I have, repeating this week, Mr. Maxwell Roberts. Welcome back, sir.
Always a pleasure. Good evening, Tobago. Always a pleasure being here. Always good to interact with you guys. Looking forward to this evening's program as usual.
And Max, I mean, a face that we ain't seen in a little while. You know,
always welcome.
Made such an impact on the last program that she sat through that people were literally calling and asking when will she return. We have with us this evening also Miss Aisha McKnight. Aisha, welcome back.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for having me again.
Nice. And so we that's still not all, folks. We still have persons in the studio. And obviously, I wouldn't be who I am if I didn't introduce, in his absence on set, but in studio, my co-host, Senator Lawrence Hislop, who will be joining us a little later in the program. He's doing some offset directing tonight. Before we actually even talk about any other thing, I want to say good night to the Minority Leader, Assemblyman Kelvon Morris. Hectic day, as we all had. Quite a lot of things had to be done, got done, some didn't get done. But at the end of it all, God is in control. So folks, welcome. And it's indeed a pleasure to always have this type of turnout in studio. Before we get into the celebratory mode and the congratulations and so on, I'll ask the director just to pull up a flyer that I sent him. We had a fire take place over the last couple of days in the Roxborough district. And this was very tragic. An entire family was affected. And what I found was remarkable and commendable is that persons really came together quickly to start to garner support and so on for the family. So I want us folks just to take a look at this flyer. It's a family of 5. Again, the cry is for anyone wishing to assist, regardless of what you can bring to the table. Anything is something, because they would have lost everything, literally everything in the fire. There's a baby girl, 1 year old. There's a male toddler, aged 3. Female children, ages 4 and 6. And the adult male and adult female. So it's 6 persons that were affected. And they're asking, the request is that you can donate basic food items, cash, clothes, shoes, books, stationaries, food, and toys. Contact to donate Ms. Decoto at 733-6780. That's 733-6780. That's via WhatsApp, or Ms. Batiste, you can make a deposit Mrs. Batiste, FCB account number 0002243997. Let me repeat the FCB account number 0002243997. And we have a little caption at the top. Let's spread kindness. The Batiste family of 6 lost their home with all their belongings on Friday, the 1st of September in Roxborough, Tobago, due to a house fire. And I know many persons would have already started discussing and so on, but I really wanted us to get this out there so that persons can be aware of it and that we can take the necessary steps to reach out to this family and to bring some sort of relief to them. I think it's in times like these that we really see who our brother's keeper, you know, and I'm calling on not just the THA, I'm calling on churches, NGOs, youth groups, cultural groups, you name it, whoever is in proximity, not in proximity, but you know you have the wherewithal to actually assist this family. We really want you to reach out to them and lend that support. It's very important as well because if we look, we saw at least 3 of the children at school age, preschool and primary school age. And to lose everything on the eve, literally, of school reopening is indeed a tragic situation. And so we're asking persons to really reach out to them, to really, you know, let's show our support, let's show our love or kindness or empathy or sympathy, whatever you want to call it. But let's reach out and let's assist this family, the Batiste family, in getting themselves back on their feet. Minority Councillor, you have that look on your face.
Yes, I just want to make a special appeal. One of the victims to this fire is a teacher at the Signal Hill Secondary School. So I want to make a special appeal to the Signal Hill family, the Signal Hill alumni. Please support as best as you can. The alumni will be making a contribution, and all contributions from the Signal Hill family and all of Tobago are welcome. We need to be your brother's keeper in time of need.
Yeah. Really, really, really. Thanks a lot. And for those of you who don't know, Minority Councillor Petal Daniel Benoit is also the president of the Signal Hill alumni. Hence the call. So we know definitely that we're going to see something happening and coming out of the alumni camp. For those of you who are looking at this program and you feel you want to send us a WhatsApp message and so on, you can do so on 284-6597. That's 284-6597. Or you can call on 356-8833. You're viewing us presently, most of you, on the Facebook page, Tobago Updates Facebook page. But you can also tune your television if you subscribe to Amplia, to channel 102 on Amplia, and you can continue viewing this program as well. So folks, having dealt with that particular situation, and Minority Council, I'm glad that you really made that plea. You know, we really expect a lot of people to get on board with this. School is open.
Yeah.
School is open, and I just want to hear from you. I mean, everybody here is basically in the school. Well, Brother Max almost there in that prepare children to get to school.
I see. And I was dropping off my daughter.
Oh, yes. I saw you. Yes. So everybody is in that mode. Sentiments. How you feel about the reopening of the term here? Not the school. Just the excitement, the children, were they looking forward to it? I don't know.
I mean, I think all these children were looking forward to going back out to school. My daughter was up at 5. She was up at 5. So I think it's just excitement, getting back out to school, meeting your friends again, you know, because some children were at camp and some were just at home. So I think it's excitement all around, getting back out. And the parents have a bit of relief.
Yes, I think parents anxious
Have a bit of relief.
for the school term to reopen. I'm like Aisha, my children were up very early on Monday morning, eager, ready, and raring to go to school. So we were at the school compound very early on Monday.
Yeah.
So I think there's a level of excitement after being away for such a long time, 2 months.
Yeah.
And to go back to see your friends, see your teachers. Most of the students are now moving to a new class or moving to a new school, starting a new chapter. So there is a bit of excitement surrounding that return to school, particularly on a September morning.
Yes.
Yeah, there's something about September morning
That's different.
returning to school that brings some level of excitement. I think both students, children, teachers, and parents alike.
Yes,
So.
that is definitely true. And well, the for me it's that bustle, and I new for me. Yeah? So I don't know how they do it, but you have to do it. And it was nice to be a part of that process and getting them ready. Pulling your hair out because you want them to be on time, that is stress. But it's part of the process and the excitement in it. And as I was saying, my daughter, she got a transfer to a new school. So that new environment and all of that, the excitement is always there. So then you had to deal with the traffic now, and that's just how it goes. But that's just part of the process.
Yes, it is.
The other thing, Marlon, that I think also, there are some families and parents who are fortunate to have everything new on this September morning. And there are some other families who are still struggling to get things organized, to get things in place, books and uniforms and bags and whatever is required for the children to return to school. And I saw a post on Facebook recently, and somebody was saying this should go viral, where the gentleman was saying that as a child growing up, this first week of school used to always be very difficult because his parent it was challenging for him and his siblings to get everything organized. So the first week of school, generally, they will not go. Or if they go, they will go they wouldn't have all their books. The mother may have to give him money just to buy stationery and struggle through getting the books due the term. And, sometimes, or for some, it is not as exciting. For some, it's a struggle. And I know we at the Office of the Minority and the People's National Movement, the MPs and stuff, have been trying to do our best to support where we can. And even as we speak, there are some families who are not yet able to
That's true.
put things together to allow for their children
To go out.
to return to school. So again, wherever we can support, be your brother's keeper.
And what you're saying there, Minority Councillor, is really sobering. And I want us to really take the opportunity now to say to Tobago that, let's really try to reach out to persons. Even in school, you're seeing some children coming into school. I know on my end, this was an exciting term, and she was up bright and early and really excited to get out there. But the reality is you're going in the school, you're looking and you're seeing children, and you're seeing some who really don't have. And I mean, there is a psychological aspect of this that many times we don't ever really pay attention to. The idea of getting into school with the new bag,
And the new shoes.
and the new shoes,
And the
new clothes.
that new look and feel.
Yeah, the crispy feel that when you get in
Shirt and
that does something to you as a child. I mean, it does something to you as an adult. When you buy new clothes and you get out there, and the reality is when we look around, we're seeing a lot of children who, I mean, that they didn't get this and they didn't get that. And then when you listen to the children speak, you hear them talking about this one, she didn't get her bag in her. She come back with the same bag. And it's not that the children are malicious. They're just very observant. Because everybody in the group's talking about, what you get and what you get. And this can have a really trying psychological impact on children as well. So I will always, and I've always said it, I've always done it. I want to firstly applaud, as you would have indicated, the representatives, the officials, the public officials of the People's National Movement. I think it speaks volumes to the fact that whether in office or out of office, the PNM continues to be relevant when it comes to representation, when it comes to service. You can't do everything, but over the last couple of days, over the last week or so, we've seen PNM officials giving out school bags, giving out hampers, giving out books, giving out stationery, hosting events, treating with serious issues. But when we look across the THA, I don't know if it happened. I don't know if many assemblymen would have had initiatives that they had kept secret, or if they didn't do it in a public way because they didn't want people to know they were giving. But I didn't see anything. I didn't see much taking place. And this is a time where people really need assistance. They need the help.
I don't know, it appears now more than ever that persons are in need.
Yeah.
For some strange reason, the call is greater.
Yeah.
The number of persons coming forward seeking assistance has grown significantly.
Yeah. It has.
And even today, I was speaking to a parent, and she went to the credit union looking for payment. Her salary, the salary that she worked for over a fortnight. And no salary was there.
Oh, God. Like we're getting to the meat one time. That is.
No, it's a reality. It's a reality for a lot of people, and it's
for more people than normal.
And too many people,
Yes,
that is becoming
way
their
too
reality.
much. Because you expect to see your salary. You expect to see your salary, whether if it's Tuesday, Thursday, whatever the fortnight.
Before school open.
And it's not there. So how are you? Let's say you expected it at the end of the month. How are you going to? And you were waiting on that now to buy whatever it is you needed. Because a lot of people shop last minute based on how their salary runs.
Yeah.
So let's say you were waiting on this and it didn't show up Friday, it didn't show up Thursday, and school starts on Monday. How is your child going out to school then? Or what are they going out to school with?
Well, up to today, it didn't show up. So.
What are they going with?
Some people live paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Literally.
that is a
That
reality.
is a reality for a lot of
That is
people.
our
Paycheck to
society.
paycheck. So if that doesn't,
Show up.
everything get throws off.
Yeah.
I've been through that. So, and it's not a nice place to be. So, and these are the kind of things that adds to the the frustration of the collective. These simple things, because when you work, you expect, you have a legitimate expectation.
It is.
You're entitled to that, and then to go through that process, and then in the heat of school opening, and those kind of unfortunate situations are very telling and trying, very, very trying.
And I mean, just as you highlighted there, Max, the reality of it, and I think in Tobago now more than ever, and these are things that remember we started saying this very early last year. You and Kelvin in the house started asking questions because we saw where it was heading in terms of financially. Earlier this year, we had a series where we asked the question, is Tobago in a financial crisis? And now we are starting to feel the brunt of the terminations, the brunt of the mass, the slash and burn when it came to what the new word that we found out, political hires, the propaganda units, and all these foolish terms. The slowing down or the decimation of this construction industry, where we would have seen, in terms of ripple effect, almost 1,500 people affected in terms of loss of income. Now that's 1,500 families.
Exactly.
So that's not just 1,500 people.
It's not 1,500 people, it's 1,500 families.
Yeah, because if your family, an average family has what, 3 or 4 persons?
Yeah.
And you
Do
have
the
dependents.
maths.
You have dependents.
You have dependents. And we are now seeing the ripple effect of it, where every turn that you make, people are crying out. And that's why we had the programs called Feeling the Pain. Because it is now more than ever a reality. People are meeting you every day. And I mean, just today I spoke with a self-employed individual, Taylor. And he's saying to me that all this week and next week,
Could I be busy?
he busy because parents now come in and who are asking, hey, do it for me.
Credit.
I'll try to get on credit. And this is basic school uniform. You need that to get out there.
And
School uniform.
I guess that's because their salary didn't turn up.
Exactly.
No,
Yes,
and
I didn't
two,
say that.
because of the disposable income, people don't have that
People
disposable
don't have
income.
disposable
so
income.
all they are spending on is what is necessary.
At
Yeah.
that point in
So
time.
the basics, yes.
And I mean, as children were at home, you had to spend on food more than
Sure.
normal. More than normal, because at school they have box lunch or whatever. But when they're home, I don't know, like they eat.
Yes.
Is that extra? And I think that the administration, I think they don't. I'm not sure that they care. They know what they're doing, it's just that they don't care.
They don't care.
Yeah, I think that's the situation.
Let me add to that. Given my present situation in terms of employment, had I not been a different person, for the grace of God, because look at that. Come August, month in there was no salary for me because I got my contract ended July. School reopens on September, early morning. There's no salary coming for me. I have a 5-month-old, a 5-month-old, and a 7-year-old to deal with. Right? Think about if persons don't take into consideration these kind of things when they're doing the mischief. Right? How are you supposed to deal with that? If I wasn't positioned, if I didn't use the skill that I would have acquired to survive, what would have been my situation? Because my wife doesn't work. What would have been my situation? And these are the little things. You see, you do your stuff maliciously, but you don't look at the impact it has.
And the multiply effect.
The
There's a
multiply
ripple
effect.
effect to the policy
I don't want to.
decisions.
I want to disagree. I do think that they know the impact, because it's not. We're not dealing with stupid people, so they know the impact. It's just that they don't care.
Okay.
They don't have to deal with it. It's not that.
It's not affecting them.
It's not affecting them personally.
No,
But-
and I beg to disagree.
Exactly. And I'll allow this.
Because it may not. If
affect
the
you
perception
directly.
is that I am getting rid of Maxlon and it affects Maxlon, but Maxlon has a contribution to the economy.
They don't see
And
it
that
as that.
effect, when there is sufficient people feeling that kind of
Yes.
pressure, and that is why the economists could have shown that there was a decline in the economy because of the things that would have transpired.
Yep.
And if it does not improve, then the decline will continue because persons do not have that disposable income to invest, to spend, to go to the grocery, to go to the shop in your community, to do the basic things. And as Maxwell was saying, if he didn't have another opportunity through his skills and through his own hands, what would have happened to him and his family?
Yeah.
And this would have been another person coming to the minority for assistance.
For assistance.
Another family.
Or you take up gun and you run off in the
Well, we pray.
and you do something
it's
violent
not-
because
I mean,
it is a
even-
frustrating place to
It's
be.
a frustrating place to be, but even in certain situations where, like for me, where we have the matter in court, and a lot of people who were fired last year, I believe, have matters in court. The money isn't coming out of their
Yes.
pocket,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, industrial court takes
Alone.
Forever.
So it's not affecting them directly. They don't see it as affecting them directly while they are in office, not realizing the effect that it has overall on the entire economy. I don't, and I'm saying we are dealing with brilliant people. They're supposed to be. We are supposed to have.
I beg to
You're
differ.
putting them in high esteem.
But
They're supposed to
You're
be.
wicked.
I beg to
Wicked.
differ.
Wicked.
And
Let
I
me
try
say
to
they are
prove that.
supposed to be. Right?
I still don't even agree with that, Aisha.
These are learned
What are
people.
we talking about exactly?
The
So you
administration.
keep going further and further into this. Who we talk? Let's clarify
This
who we talking
current
about.
administration. They are senior officials. They have advisors who are senior officials who are senior public servants, not so? Am I wrong? So they know, and they're supposed to understand the economy. And this is what I am thinking, that these people are supposed to understand the ripple effect it would have of displacing so many people in your society, in your economy, as they say in this Tobago space. So you have this space here that we call in Tobago, and you have displaced so many people that other people are afraid. And that's what's happening in us. So many people have been displaced, and so many people are afraid of being victimized and all of that. So they're withholding. People are withholding their cash, and they're not spending. So normally you would have been free-handed. You say, here what? I don't know what's
don't
going
know
to
what
happen
tomorrow
when my
is.
contract
Yeah.
ends.
Yes.
So let me hold on to
Right.
this.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
I
Let
need
me hold
to
on to this,
try
yeah,
for some period
because
after.
I don't know how long it will take me to get a job after my contract ends. So let me hold on to my cash. Let me start to put down. And this is what's happening. So again, that disposable income has minimized not just from the people who are now unemployed, but from even the people who are employed. So that's what I'm saying. They are supposed to be educated.
No,
and
I agree with everything you said, except
But
that they are
it is
learned
also
people. There's no proof
a
of that.
health issue, you know.
Mhm.
Because think about the stress. Like Marilyn, like Maxlon and Aisha.
Mhm.
The
Sometime in
psychological impact
2012.
that has.
Of course, I was also unceremoniously dismissed. No particular reason. There was a new government at the time I was working in Trinidad, and everybody had to go from the board to whoever was deemed political
Yeah,
hires.
political hires.
At that time, I was an accounting officer working in Trinidad, renting, have your vehicle loans, your food, whatever else. You're basically on your own. And one morning or one Friday morning, you went to work and then you were told your position is now redundant. You're no longer required to come to work from Monday. Yeah. So the reality that you have to pay your rent, the reality you have to pay your loan, the reality that you have to live. And I am alone in Trinidad. My family is in Tobago. And my mother is like, Petal, you will survive. And her organization had an EPA and decided, I went to the EPA thinking that I'm just doing this because my mother asked me to go do it.
Mhm.
And when I went to that session, it's like a counseling session,
Mhm.
the impact that dismissal had on me, I didn't recognize until I went to the session. And a lot of people in our society who has been dismissed in that way, the psychological impact that it has. And just imagine at that time, I had no dependents. Think about people who have others depending on them for their survival. What kind of impact it will have in terms of the health, social, psychological.
Yeah, the reality
And then
is-
that's now a burden on the government.
Yeah.
Because they have to provide the health care. And even if it may not be affecting them directly, it has an effect.
Yeah.
I think you were fortunate to have the EPA. Because I know for sure, I've been to EPA sessions and I know for sure it helps. But without having that assistance through your job or through some family member, it's $400 a session. So if I now get fired, how am I paying $400 a session?
Yeah.
So
So
just
there are
think
lots of
about
people
you
that
walking
earning
around with
income.
this
walking
psychological
around, yeah, walking
you're
around with
angry.
this issue.
and
But you're angry at
you're
everybody.
correct.
Yeah.
You're
This is
angry at everybody.
The bank ends saying, well, you got this, Mr. Wian. The bank expect
No.
the payment.
And
Your
they-
landlord
And the
expect you
landlord
rent.
expect you,
Yes.
of course.
They
And
call
your
you.
children
And your child
expect you
expect
to
because
feed them and
they're
provide for
expecting
them.
these are the realities, and this is what that and use it, the wickedness, because
Yeah.
they are fully
I didn't
aware
want
of
to
these
say the
kinds of
word.
impact.
I didn't
No, it
want to
has
say
to
the
be
word.
said.
Call
It
it
has
what
to
it
be
is.
said.
That
I
is-
didn't want to say it.
What I want to, and again, I like for us to be able to connect the dots for Tobago to understand. Minority Council, you remember last year when a particular motion came to the House and it was said that they want to take an all of government approach and all this kind of thing. One of the things, the points that I remember the minority leaders standing and indicating to them, I think the motion had to do with women and who were not less fortunate, but along those lines and
Vulnerable?
vulnerable. And the minority leader got up and he spoke and he said, but you all are contributing to crime
Yes.
because when you're in this state now and it adds to the frustration and the stress.
Policy decisions of
creates-
this administration
That's what he said. The
creates
policy decisions.
vulnerable people.
Yep. You remember how they lashed out at that?
Yes. And because
Yeah, but it's the truth.
They lashed out at
think
it.
about and this is a
were upset.
scenario. Think about the head of a household, the male. One morning he's employed, the next he is not. His wife or his companion is also not employed. He has 3 to 5 children. Think about the stress of him having to provide for his entire family.
How? How?
By the grace of God.
I have to provide for
That's the
two,
only way.
and that's what I keep saying. It's consistently by the grace of God, because Maxwell on yours is fresh, so I know, I understand, but it's like I can tell you I've been there, but it's not that it doesn't still affect you.
Yeah,
Because a year more than a
could it
year
not
later,
affect you?
yeah,
it's
you
still
can- yeah,
affecting
that's
me.
Not
okay.
affect
That's
you.
right.
It's
That's
still
what
affecting
you
me.
Just think about you sitting, seeing your family, looking at you,
Expectations.
expecting
Yeah.
for you to provide for them, and you know deep in your heart, I don't have nothing to give them.
Mm-hmm.
And this happened, and I was just having, like, before I came here, I was having a conversation with my daughter, because she's 10, she's turning 10 on Sunday, and she wants to have a birthday party. No, I always keep birthday parties for my children because I believe you should celebrate. And so she's 10 and it's the 10th, so it's a golden birthday. And I am saying, and she's talking about she wants to have a sleepover and a games night, and I'm like, Lord, where are we finding it? Yeah?
No.
Because that costs. You have to get snacks, you have to get the games, pizza, whatever they want to eat, put things in place. And so
They get
it's
everything.
like, so I asked her, and this is, I took it as a teaching moment. So I asked her, I said, okay, you want a birthday party, plan your birthday party. Let's see where you could get the money from. She's like, she wants to go Magdalena. And I'm like, for sleepover? She wants to go to a villa. I was like, this child have
A villa at
Yeah.
10.
Champagne
That's how
taste.
advanced
Red
our
cha-
society
no,
has
champagne
become.
taste. Yeah, champagne taste.
Yeah, champagne taste.
And I said, well, okay, a villa might cost. She wants to know what's the cost of a villa. Okay. She wants pizza. I said, well, pizza for the night for you and your friends might cost about $300. Woo, that's plenty. No, because I want her to see that
Yeah.
mommy don't have that at her disposal as she normally would, because you have to consider now, school just started, she has a trip to go on, she has this to do, she has that to do. And so I now have to consider all of that and put things in place in order to at least still make her happy, because she's a child. She don't understand that. Even last year when I was home every day, I said, so you don't realize that your mother is home every day? Like, you go to school and I am at home. When you are at home, I am at home. There's still that expectation as a child. So, I mean, I thank God that I learned skills along the way. So as I said, I have other things that I could do. Like, I recently, a startup from Africa just called me. I did some questionnaires and things, designed some questionnaires and things for them. So I have things that I could do, and remote work works. So, I mean, I'm okay with that. But it's like, child, don't you realize I am at home? When you are at home, when I drop you to school, I'm not dressed. I am just pulling on whatever to drop you to school and come back home. And she's like, and I had to have that conversation with my children, because I'm like, you all need to understand that the money that was coming in, it's no longer coming in. So we need to take a pause for a little bit. And again, children always have this expectation, because they didn't ask you to come here. So they have this expectation that you would continue to take care of them just as how you were doing it before. They don't care what your situation is.
Nope.
That's not their concern. That's not for them to be worried about.
That is not their concern.
Correct.
That is not their concern.
Don't.
So that adds added stress now as a parent.
Yeah, it is.
And then you might want to, because you might want to take that out on them. You might shout a little
frustration of it all.
You might shout a little harder. You might, if you do beat them, you might the punishments might be a bit more severe, because you don't have an avenue to take that stress out. And this society that we live in, we don't discuss things like that. Your mental health and how to deal with it, how to cope with it. So even like your EPA sessions, they teach you that, what to do to cope. But for the 99% of people, 99 persons who didn't go, you were one out of the 100. For the others who didn't go, how?
Yeah, you deal with it how you can, you cope how you can, and most of the times the coping mechanism is not
sufficient.
Not
it's not sufficient.
Not healthy.
Yeah.
And
that is the realities.
Those are the hard realities that we have to deal with. And I don't like when people try to mask stuff and play it down and pretend as though this isn't what is happening. Those are the facts. And that is what I like about being in this space. Because that's what we bring. We bring the facts, we bring truth to the table. And we don't like it, well, it is what it is.
Folks, wow. This is the reality that we are facing and dealing with. And what we are doing here is, these are the voices of Tobago. Everybody here represents a different aspect of Tobago. And it's really hard. People are really struggling out there. And we're asking, I don't know how, again, we can ask this administration to start showing people that they care. We've seen a total turnaround from what was campaigned on, the mantra and people first and all these nice flowery words. And certainly Chief Secretary would remember that term, flowery words. And here it is, not even 2 years after, many persons within the citizenry unemployed, children affected, households affected, domestic violence on the increase. Everything is just at a standstill. We want this administration to understand what the people of Tobago, who they're supposed to be leading, who they're supposed to be responsible for the livelihood and their well-being. This is what Tobago is waking up every day to. Salaries late every fortnight. I have persons who call and say they haven't been paid in 4 fortnights.
Wow.
And this is the norm, and it's acceptable because you are hearing no secretary standing up and saying anything about it. You're hearing only when it's published big, you see a release come out from a
I
division.
just want to say that normally, I remember during COVID, there were a lot of because persons were falling ill, salaries were late.
Mm-hmm.
And a notice used to come out from whatever division, whether finance, whether works, whatever it is, informing you this is your situation. Like the margin of care is so low.
Yeah, they don't care.
Yeah, but what is the reason now for the salaries being late? At least back then,
We had
the
COVID.
divisions were closed. Persons were ill, as you would have indicated. They probably had to close the sanitization or something.
Yeah.
But what
is the reason now?
Accounting
For the last
for
almost 2 years.
so many
They
persons
said they don't
being
have
paid
money.
late? How is
we
it
going
that
to
they
deal
don't
with
have
that?
any money?
That's what they said.
We'll deal with that.
I'm sure right here, one of the ministers said that they don't get the allowances.
Well, we're
The
gonna deal
allowances
with
don't
that.
come on time.
When
We
we
definitely we dealing with that for sure tonight when we return, folks. So stay locked on, share the live, and let's continue when we get back with we're gonna shift the discussions a little bit. So we'll be right back. Enjoy.
To ignite your mind, one must attend classes at the Institute of Academic Support, offering a wide range of subjects at the CSEC level and recently introducing Communication Studies, Caribbean Studies, Entrepreneurship, Management of Business at the Cape level. Please see our class schedules. Ask about the lower form subjects, and we hope to hear from you soon.
Mount Pleasant Credit Union Back to School Loan Promotion. Loans up to $15,000. Requirements: job letter and a payslip no more than 1 month old. Utility bill, copy of book list, salary deduction, 10% down payment. For self-employed persons, evidence of income and expenditure, bank statement, 12 to 18 months. Other supporting document. Promotion ends October 18. Contact us at 639-8375 or 8108 or check us out on www.mpcutobago.com or email us at loan@mpcutobago.com. Mount Pleasant Credit Union's Back to School Loan Promotion.
There's a new date for Tobago Swim Fest, September 17th, 2023. Come and witness the main event, the 4-kilometer swim from Pigeon Point to Buku Point. More than $25,000 in prizes. It's a family affair, so come out from 11 a.m. on the beautiful Buku Beach. There'll be swimming races, sandcastle building, and seafood on sale. Come and enjoy a fun day at the beach. Calling swimmers from Crown Point to Charlottesville. Registration on the day.
But this place so boring enough. We don't even do nothing. Let me go somewhere now.
I really want some new things, yes? Then look no further. Portmore is the place for you.
Oh, really?
Yes.
You can have anything that your heart desires. Take a look for yourselves. A world of endless opportunities. Feeling hungry? Go get something to eat. Books and stationeries, games, and much more. Portmore, the island's beat.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show.
From the experts that created the Zinger sandwich comes the KFC Crispy Barbecue Zinger. Cheddar cheese, crispy onions, the most delicious Kentucky Fried Chicken and barbecue sauce. Get ready for a whole new level of flavor.
October will never be better with Tobago Carnival Fever. Okay, passage and come on over.
Mount Pleasant Credit Union present the Edgar Davidson Bursary Awards 2023. Awards available are SEA, CSEC, and CAPE. Tertiary, technical and vocational. Your requirements are complete the application form, student's performance report, or transcript. Applicants must be a member or a member whose child wrote an exam in 2023. Forms are available via our website or can be collected at our branch office. For further information, www.mpcutobago.com, marketing at mpcutobago.com, or call us 639-8902 or 8375. Deadlines for submission 15th of September 2023.
And we're back, folks. We have been having some interesting discussions, and you know, one of the things coming out of all that we've said here and even last week and weeks before is that people want an opportunity where they can share their information, where they can vent. And I mean, very touching story that you brought out there, Petal, in terms of the EPA. And I never looked at it like that. The psychological issues that people have. And you know, it's so important for people to always have an opportunity to vent and to ventilate their frustrations, to share their ideas, to share what's bothering them. And you know, out of the concern that we have even in that area, one of the things that we have decided to do is to present the general public with a Minority Report hotline. Last week we started off with the community corner, and it was so well received. Persons called and messaged me almost every day saying that they want the opportunity to be able to send their information, but anonymously. And just today someone said to me, listen, I want to watch the program, you know, but I do ever click and show my name because I don't want anybody to see me looking at the program and think that I am a supporter of the PNM and that then I get victimized in my workplace. And that's not the first time I've heard that story. I've heard that story countless times. So we know that there is an atmosphere of fear existing. And so we are giving persons the opportunity to share information with us, to send pictures, photos of situations happening in your community, to send messages. If you want to share information that you came about and you don't know where else to go, you don't want to walk into the minority office because you don't want anybody to see you. It is now open and available to the public to send your information to, and I'll give you the number. The number is 489-7905. 489-7905, and I'm going to have it put up on the page so that persons feel free to just WhatsApp. The phone is outfitted with WhatsApp, various social media handles and so on. So we can accommodate videos, pictures, and basic messaging. You're free to send your information to that number, 489-7905. And as we get the information, we definitely are going to be treating with the issues. We're going to be making certain things public. We're going to be calling on certain persons to account for the pain and the stress and the psychological pressure that we are seeing so many persons under and facing right now in Tobago. And I think the reopening of schools has even opened up this more to many of us. So joining our panel For this second half of the program, we have Senator Lawrence Hislop, my co-host for the program. I don't know how long he intends to be the co-host. He keeps threatening to leave the job, but we know his love for the program and the party is undying. So I know we'll have him around for quite some time. Senator Hislop, how are you going?
Good evening, Marilyn. I'm not threatening. I don't know where you have your erroneous information from. Good evening to the two beautiful ladies on the panel tonight. It is good to be here. As always, as best as I can be, I will be. Mr. David.
That's comforting. It's really, really comforting. I know you would have been locked in and listening to the discussions that we were having. You know, and I wanted us to shift it. Yes, we know the pressure that people are under. We know the stress, we know the pain. But on Sunday evening, something happened that it literally blew my mind. I saw the Secretary of Education put up a release, which in no uncertain terms gave a clear indication that schools, or all schools, would not have been opened on time.
Again.
Thank you very much. Again. I don't, words couldn't describe how I felt. And I'll ask the director to cue up the release so that the general public as well can see. And there are just some things I want us to touch on. You know, some persons like to say we come on the program and you all only talk negative. No, we just simply analyze what is said. Because this is not something that we put together. This is a release that came out of the division by the secretary. Mr. Director. So we see the Education Secretary, Zarisha Hackett, says she understands the issues affecting some Tobago schools. Now, just by this part of the statement, I already didn't want to read going further, because when you say you understand the issues affecting some schools, it's a clear indication to me that you already put us on cue to say that these some schools are not going to be opened, or even if they are open, they wouldn't be able to function at full capacity. And then she says, however, we recognize their concern, but it is imperative to emphasize that incomplete school repairs are not an isolated issue to Tobago. Minority Councillor.
Yes.
It is imperative to emphasize that incomplete school repairs are not an isolated issue in Tobago. This challenge resonates on a national scale, primarily due to delays caused by the migration of the office to the Office of Procurement Regulations Depository.
But it's just a cop-out.
Yeah.
And an excuse.
I don't understand
because remember,
this.
at the end of the day, the campaign when they came into office is that we will fix it.
Yes.
So they will fix whatever they perceived was broken. So the school repair program was broken.
It was?
Well, according to them, because they came to fix. So if the administration came to fix, I am not sure what has been fixed. Because this is what, the
second year.
The second year. But is the third, you could say reopening, because we reopened from COVID, and there was a program to deal with that. And of course there were issues surrounding that program. And then last year, we also saw where tutor representative for Tobago came out, and he would have highlighted a number of issues. And again, we saw the division and the secretary coming out, not taking any accountability and responsibility throwing a public servant under the bus for lack of being able to open schools or lack of fixing whatever they said that they would fix. Now we have a third reiteration where someone or something else is being blamed for the inability to do what you're supposed to do.
But what schools were identified as, or what schools were not open on time?
No, she didn't go on to identify any. And asked the director just to bring back up the release.
Scarborough Sec?
Scarborough Sec and Palatine, I think I saw something with Palatine.
Okay. We know that.
And I'm not sure if Plymouth was in the rush.
I was wondering, and this came strongly to me, if that release may have been prompted by the Scarborough Sec PTA.
I think so.
Yes.
And so I'll ask the director to pull up the other document from the Scarborough Sec PTA that I sent.
Because why the document is because what was instructive for me as minority councillor rightly said, I don't understand how you're using the migration to the Office of the Procurement Regulator Depository, but you have contractors on the job.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to figure out at what time were the contractors engaged to do the repairs.
Well, I could tell you that because several of them have been calling.
Right, but if your excuse is that the migration is causing it, then if they're not in the depository, they shouldn't even be on the job.
And what was the reason for engaging EID Code? Because I think in the press release that was indicated.
Right, because I was going to that as well.
Moved to EID Code.
Right. At what stage did you move to EID Code?
And that is the thing.
And then you have allocated what, 20 million?
What was the process? 20 million.
You've allocated 20 million to EID Code.
20 million.
So 20 million, so then they are taking care of everything.
Well, it has to be. So
exactly.
EID Code seems to be managing the process.
Yeah, they may be the project managers of doing the school repair.
Yeah.
But I'm still stuck by the migration.
To the
because if the contractor is not in the depository, they're not to be engaged. So are we just, to me, we're just playing smart with foolishness and putting a lot of words in a press release to try and cover yourself, your derriere, trying to cover it when you're fully responsible, you're fully to blame for the fact. No. Bear in mind that we accept the fact that this is usually school repairs is a national issue, and in some regards, there are some schools in Trinidad that have not been opened, if I'm not mistaken, or they may have challenges with school repairs. But as minority councillor said, you had the solution.
But Senator, how come Trinidad come in this now?
But you
these are the same people that distancing from Trinidad with everything else. Why is it that Trinidad is conveniently used to justify certain things?
No, but that's expected. To me, it's politics. It's expected that you are going to say, well, you can't blame us for not opening when the national government ain't opening schools in Trinidad either, right? That's just plain foolishness.
But the parents and children in Tobago are affected, and the THA has responsibility.
We know that, and we know it's politics they play.
And that's what it is. It's politics. Because remember, they said the voice on the audio tape said you can't stop campaigning.
Yeah.
So all of this is part of that I guess that campaigning process.
Now, she said, and we'll go back to the PTA one, I want to reassure the concerned stakeholders, not this one, the secretary's release. We'll get back to this. I want to reassure the concerned stakeholders at both Plymouth Anglican Primary School and Scarborough Secondary School that their issues have always been on our radar, and that we at DIRTEC are unwavering in our determination to address them comprehensively. The repair works at these institutions have commenced, as promised, and should be completed in short order. So there's no timeline. This is the kind of language that we get in the cop-outs. Additionally, productive dialogues have taken place with the PTA presidents of both schools. So she's speaking specifically here to 2 schools.
Yeah, to Scarborough.
With a commitment by all parties to engage in collaborative efforts and improved communication towards shared goals in the future. As it relates to other repair works across the island, I am pleased to report that crucial repairs have been completed, with minor repairs and other outstanding projects to persist during afternoons and weekends until they are satisfactorily completed. I wonder if this included Mount St. George School, where that is opening next week, Thursday, and Palatuvier, and several other schools who have indicated that nothing has been done at the school yet.
Yeah, but you saw the same issue last school year. Because again, there was no new legislation in terms of the procurement legislation being.
So then what was the issue last year?
Well, last year, apparently, there was an administrative issue. And again, not taking accountability. So last year, you did not see anything happening until weeks before school opened, maybe a week or 2. And then that caused, correct.
So what time did school repairs start this year?
About 2 weeks ago.
You saw a mad rush about a week or 2 before school opening. There was nothing happening before, and everybody kept asking, what is going on with the school repair program this term?
People kept asking, and principals have even said that on the list of things that they had sent in to get done, nothing was done. There are some schools, nothing was done. Not even an attempt.
So how soon?
Not even to scrub the drain.
When were these lists sent in? Were they sent in late? I'm just trying to figure out where the...
Wait.
I don't know if you are devil's advocate.
No. I'm asking. This is a serious question. Is it that the principals sent in their list late, and so contractors were engaged late?
I'm asking the same thing too.
There are some of these lists that have been in since last year.
Okay, so then
with incomplete works.
Because from past experience, I know that probably since before school closed, most contractors used to be engaged, so that as soon as school closes,
they enter the compound,
and they start work. And you would have known, I think at that time was the same division of education, the project management division. They would have given you the scope, so you know exactly what had to be done in each school.
As a sensible approach.
Before the school closed. So that when school closes Friday, by Saturday or the next week, Monday for the latest,
you mobilize
the contractor, and then the contractors were in the community. So you had a sense of pride in terms of fixing the school in your community or the school that you went to. So, you know, that made sense
that
to me.
That system was broken. So this is the fix that Tobago has received. They fix it now.
I thought fixing was far better. I'm sorry.
Could we have the PTA release up now? Let's look at what I believe was a trigger. This is the Scarborough Secondary School Parents Teachers Association. And the public notice released on the 29th of August.
29th was when?
2 days before.
Not Sunday.
And then the secretary releases one on Sunday.
Yeah.
All right.
So the 29th of August. And folks, it's important for us to note the date. 29th of August, 2023, a public notice. Greetings, dear parents and teachers. And the caption is, first day of school. The Scarborough Secondary School Parent Teachers Association held an emergency meeting.
That's on the 29th.
On the 29th of August, 2023.
Go ahead.
Evidently, the Division of Education has shown disregard for our children's safety on the compound and disrespect to our association, which cannot go unnoticed. This is not the minority report talking.
Very strong words.
This is not the minority leader or the minority councillor talking. This is the Parent Teachers Association, a body of people who would have had an emergency meeting and collectively agreed to this.
They may be conceived PNM.
Go ahead. That's party group number 50. Go ahead.
The division was written
in May.
Aisha, I told you we'll answer the questions. The division was written in May about many grave issues that both our children and teachers are facing. One of many is safety and security on the plant. To date, we have received in caps no response. Our plant is currently unsecured as our fence line is in shambles where the overgrown vines keep up the rest. To this end, that's how you know somebody fed up. When you start a statement. To this end, our association is asking all parents to send their children out to school on Tuesday, September the 5th, that's the day, 2023, as we demand betterment from the division. We are asking all parents and teachers to show solidarity as we champion our cause for the division to fix our safety and security issues, among others, and for THA to commence building our new Scarborough Secondary School. Where is the promised design? Where is the promised design? These are the people who talk all kind of thing and talk about they could fix it and what they have in place. And so the PTA is asking, where is the promised design? Our children have suffered enough. Parents and supporters are asked to report to school on Monday, September 4, 2023, wearing something blue or white. Isn't it ironic? Wearing something blue.
What shade of blue?
I don't know the shade. I'm not sure of the shade. I'm not sure of the shade. But wearing something blue or white. But we know Scarborough Sec colors is the dark blue. Representing the Blue Marlins family and standing with us in our fight for betterment at 10 a.m. top gate of SSS. Betterment must come. The end. This was written on the 29th of August.
Very strong
Very
statement.
strong.
Yeah. But you see, what was critical for me is that the association said that they wrote to the division since May.
No, what is also
And no response.
No response.
And the division did not respond.
But how we get a response on Sunday?
Because it went public.
And this is
No, because there may have been an attempt to embarrass the administration based on the call, for the parents and teachers to come out in solidarity. So you don't respond to me.
When I'm a problem.
I wrote to you in May. You didn't respond no time in May.
June, July.
You didn't respond in June. You didn't respond in July. You didn't respond.
Whole of August.
Whole of August.
Whole of
3 to 4 months.
Until this thing was made public on August 29th.
I applaud the PTA.
Yeah.
For standing up like that.
Yeah, for standing up like that. I do.
Yeah.
I applaud the PTA, the members of the PTA for standing up like that.
If you go back, if you recall to last, if you recall was it last September when school reopened and the rains were down?
Yeah.
And you saw, I think there was a tarpaulin or something covering the auditorium, and you just saw that river of water flowing through the school.
But the association is also correct. The association is in its call for the construction of the new school, as well as the promised designs, because the school I shouldn't say can't, but it is almost difficult for us to see a school completed within this administration's tenure. With the rate at which they operate, because you have no designs, you have no approvals, and you haven't identified funding for the school.
Yeah.
So, but we're hoping that for the sake of the children, Because I'm old enough to, well, my eldest brother went to Scarborough. My father taught at Scarborough for quite a number of years in his career. And Scarborough is Scarborough still to this day, from since then. And it's even, I think it's worse because the people who would have gone to Scarborough will know that you could have played football comfortably behind Scarborough.
Yeah.
And
in my time, you used to play cricket and football to the back there.
Yeah. We have the secretary is also watching, and that's why I'm saying everybody looks at the program. So I'm glad that she's watching, because this is total failure.
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with procurement or anything. This is failure at the responsibility.
The strong words from the association speaks to that.
Yeah.
Disregard and disrespect.
And that's what I'm saying.
It speaks to the frustration.
And the frustration. And that is not from the minority. That is the average citizen out there whose children have been affected. And I want to read this comment that's on the live. The school repair program was already being operated using the guidance of central procurement. In fact, the contracts were broken up into packages to include more contractors. Right. This meant on one school, multiple contractors could successfully bid for electrical, painting, or plumbing contracts. They were then paid before the end of the fiscal year. The records are there. It takes the application of good management and proper planning that is clearly absent currently. Full stop.
The thing about it is too.
We see the Veens for that comment.
Very well. And the thing about it is some of the packages may have been below the 1 million, because remember, the Parliament was called on recess to address the issues of the procurement regulation. And then those contracts below $1 million did not have to go through the procurement. So with the packages, you may have had multiple contractors, and they may have been able to go into the schools and start doing what they without, and then maybe the larger contracts they would have had a lengthier time. But this does not debar the division from acknowledging the correspondence that was received.
Exactly.
And especially if you understand, based on the Secretary's press release, that you have your eyes and ears on these matters, and they have not gone unnoticed.
Flowery words.
I acknowledge receipt of your communication, and we are working on it. Just acknowledge.
Yeah, but to acknowledge something means that you respect it. So you have to give them that they don't.
And that's it. They do not respect anybody. Not one bit. And these people are carrying on with their lives and traveling and doing all kind of things.
You know, it's just,
and children can't even get into schools. This is a total disappointment to Tobago. There's no other word to describe it. And regardless of what excuse this secretary could put on the table, I think after 2 years of failure of a basic responsibility as ensuring that schools reopen on time,
correct,
that is enough for you to just say, listen, I should resign.
Because you're halfway...
Step down from the position.
You're halfway through your term, you know.
You're halfway through your term.
You're halfway through your term.
You have no success at school opening.
So there is no... So you could no longer blame previous administrations halfway through your term.
But that is what they are doing. It's like you're in a bad relationship. This is what they're doing.
Because by now, you've had ample time to... Well, before you even got into office, you said where you identified everything that was wrong.
Yes.
According to you. You've had ample time to put your policy in place to make sure that you fix it. And you haven't done that. And when people keep asking, give them time. What's the time you're gonna give?
Everything just to fall apart.
But you see, and I keep making the point. That's when you enter governance without a plan.
Without a plan.
When you campaign without a plan, enter governance without a plan.
You campaign to win, but you didn't campaign
to govern. Right, so you didn't have a plan to govern.
And there's always a saying that the People's National Movement make governance look easy. So everybody feel that they could come in and do it and fix
but that's why you campaign to govern.
Mm-hmm.
You pay them campaigns to govern, not to win.
Someone says here, Lawrence, someone says You all behave like no school was open. This person didn't have a child that is at a school
As
that
Scarborough
didn't
said,
open.
but that's the point.
And that's a foolish and insensitive comment, which is synonymous with persons who support this administration. Every child that cannot go to school is affected. Every parent that can't send the children to school, who have to go to work. What are you doing with the children? I mean, this is the worst that we've seen in
No,
forever.
you see, excuses like that allow mediocrity. Excuses like that it doesn't allow for excellence. So we shouldn't strive to have 100% of our schools open.
No, it should always be
We
25.
shouldn't strive
It should always be like
Yeah,
75% and
yeah.
80%. We shouldn't strive. We shouldn't say with all, and this is across the board. We shouldn't be able to say, bam, September morning, all our schools
All our
have been
schools
open,
are open.
and they will remain open.
And
We
to
can't say
address to address the statement that it's the hypocrisy for me, I'll say to the secretary, you said that you could fix it. You said you will do better. You said you had all the answers. It's time to stop blaming PNM and 21 years gone by when you're already 2 years into your term. There's no one else to blame
Do
now.
the work.
Do the work.
Do
It's
the
not about
work.
hypocrisy.
accountability.
You said it was broken and you could fix it. You're a former teacher.
Of the
And
school.
even the very school that
Of
you
the
were
school.
teaching
Oh,
at,
that same school.
is the
Yeah.
PTA that lashing out against you. You're talking about hypocrisy?
Yeah, but even some of
Ah.
the schools that were opened, when you speak to teachers and principals,
Nothing was done.
nothing was
Nothing
done,
was done.
and they are opening for the love of it.
For the sake
Yeah.
of children.
The sake of the children.
Some of them taken from
Yes.
their pockets. And I'll say this to the secretary. We spoke to plenty principals and teachers. We're not coming here and just making empty vacuous statements. We've spoken to people. You go all over Tobago and there is no real positivity. I'm on my way here tonight. And persons are calling me and saying, hey, they tell us in Mount St. George is next week Thursday, the school opening. People calling from different places and complaining. This is not about hypocrisy. This is about poor performance. There's no excuse.
No, more than that, I think, is accepting responsibility.
That's it.
Identifying
I
the
think that's
issue.
what my
Is
issue
there
is.
any
Yeah, that's the
merit
point.
in what
The amount
is
of
being-
effort that goes into
No,
making
yeah,
excuses.
yeah,
That's the
yeah.
point.
Just
I
accept
accept
responsibility.
responsibility, because at the end of the day, is there an issue? Is there an issue with schools not being opened? Is there an issue with Scarborough Secondary, Palatavere, Mount St. George, Plymouth?
Find
What is
where
the
it is.
issue? Work on the issue and address the issue.
I think it's easier to just say, yes, these are the issues, we are working on it.
That's
Why
it.
blame and
Yes.
compare to what is going on in Trinidad, the Trinidad that you're at war with? Why
It's,
why
it's
blame it?
amazing.
It's like somebody was saying, when you're in a relationship, right?
Mhm.
And somebody comes and bad talks this man that you're with. And they say, yes, I'm going to do better. I have the plan. I have it worked out. And they all kind of fancy talk. And you leave this relationship being good house here, right?
Barrows come and call you.
And this man come and sweet talk you here so.
Mm-hmm.
And you leave and you jump across. And when you jump across now,
You jump in the fire.
straight in the fire. So all the promises.
Burn from
And
the
listen,
start.
and you sit down there and you're waiting, you're giving them time.
Yeah, it will get better.
It will get better.
Yeah.
It will get better.
Yeah.
It will get better. And time again. It should and it's with every issue. Every issue, every division.
Not just education.
Not just
They're not
education.
taking
Every
responsibility.
Nobody
division.
takes
There's nobody
responsibility.
taking responsibility for
And it's
anything
always
that they're
somebody else
doing.
to blame.
But they're
Central
blaming
government.
right.
Public servant.
You're always blaming
Prime
somebody
Minister.
outside.
Somebody,
Somebody
yes,
outside.
and nobody takes responsibility.
But mind you, before we close, I haven't heard the Chief Secretary and Secretary of Finance say for this entire year
That's the money
that
issue.
Tobago ain't got no money, or that Tobago has not been getting
They're getting money now?
its money. The Secretary of Finance has not said that Tobago has not been receiving its allocation.
Because the reality
hearing everybody
is
else
the
saying
THA, this
financial
administration has received the largest allocation in
Largest.
the past 5 years.
We
And
cannot complain
in
about that.
excess, in the first instance, over 100 million more in the initial.
Mhm.
And then we would have heard that a further million came to deal with the amounts owing to
Mhm.
contractors.
Yep.
Yes?
Yeah.
And then, unlike what would have happened in the past on the P&M administration, where you would have been receiving monies month to month, you have a situation where you're receiving monies on block, be it 2 or 3 months in advance. So there is some level of predictability. There should not be a cash flow issue. You can plan for the time end. So clearly it's a management issue.
It's a management issue according to Kwesi here in the chat. Folks, we there's no end that could come to this conversation, but I think we can cap it off by saying the incompetence continues to be displayed at all levels throughout this administration. There's more to come, folks, and in the coming weeks, we're going to start to unfold a couple more things that are very interesting, and I hope the Secretary logs in on those programs as well. We saw Senator Hislop, as we close, host a very, very successful initiative, as we would have announced last week. I'll ask the director just to pull up those photos and some short videos that I would have sent to him about the
You show the videos, the photos of the Independence Parade?
not these, there's a video you got as well. There's a video you got. But while they're getting the video, nice.
Yeah, so this was a second annual back to school haircut initiative and stationery giveaway. It was very successful. I think the initial numbers that we got is that we did around 80 heads.
Very good.
Between the two locations, Mason Hall and Delaford. And so yeah, it was for me the biggest thing with these initiatives is just to see the smile on people's faces when they say, "Hey, somebody remembered me," and somebody remembered that it counts. It really counts for them, you know, and we don't realize. Sometimes we don't realize, and I just spoke to it, when you at a situation where your income may be limited. After you've bought books, if you have 5 children and you buy books of 5 children, you may not even have money to pay for a haircut.
Exactly.
The parent may not even have money to pay for a haircut. And then on top of that, I think one of the highlights to me was we got some sponsorship to do. We eventually did 4 full first form book lists. And for me that
is performance, man.
Yeah, that was one of the highlights.
That is performance.
This was one of the young men who was a beneficiary of his full book list, his full first form book list.
That is performance.
Yeah. So those are the kind of things I think that's important for what we do, whether it's at the start of our school term, monthly, weekly, in terms of hampers and so on. And then Heliconia Foundation was there with us, partner with us this year to make sure that we had the alternative site. They manned and did the registration. And I want to shout out the barbers.
Kudos
who
to the
gave
barbers.
back. We had 2 barbers from Delaford, and we had 3 barbers in Mason Hall, and these guys gave the time and gave of their skill. So I really, really, really want to shout out those barbers and thank them for the work that they would have put in outside of the team that was there assisting and the sponsors who came on board and that kind of thing. Yeah?
I just want to highlight that this is what it means to care about people. For those who have forgotten, for those who would have made the commitment but have forgotten along the way of what care is, this is what care is about. Ensuring that persons get what it is they need.
And you see, there is a narrative there that, and it was even thrown at me in one of the debates in the Senate. And I had to remind my colleagues in the Senate that, I contested an election. People voted for me. You know? I may not have won.
Yeah.
But there's still quite a bit of people out there who put an X. Not only for me, but for the party that I represent. And so I still see myself as not only representing these individuals who would have voted for me, but also representing all of Trinidad and Tobago.
That
And
is so true.
in whatever small way that I can, and the minority leader and the minority councillor and even all the other and our MPs who continue.
Yeah.
Because we sometimes we forget them, you know. But these two ladies
continue to toil,
do significant work, you know, and
Yeah.
they as well did the same back to school drives.
As
Tobago West.
PNM officials,
That's right. Always at work.
Always at work.
Yeah.
Because we care
Yeah.
about people.
Yep.
So, folks, as we close this evening, remember 489-7905. 489-7905. You can continue to engage with the minority with your messages and your photos and your videos. And let's all work together to hold this administration accountable to ensure that you, the people of Tobago, get what you are supposed to and get what you truly deserve. I'm Ireland David, thanking you for being with us tonight and for staying on and really watching. And I thank all those guests who came onto the program and commented and so on, both who mistakenly got into the program and otherwise. I would look forward to seeing you guys next week. I know you all watch the program, so keep looking at it. Keep looking at it. And we're going to get somewhere really, really good. We're going to take Tobago somewhere. So folks, have a wonderful evening. And we look forward to seeing you guys next Tuesday. Good night.